Jagex just dropped a post revealing Necro drop rates and Necromancy Combat adjustments. Let's talk about it, so whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Next Monday, on October the 23rd, Necromancy will receive some combat adjustments, starting with the removal of adrenaline requirements for conjures. Yes, you heard that right, conjures will no longer require adrenaline to spawn. Additionally, a new ability will be released which will allow you to spawn a selected amount of conjures at the tap of a single ability keybind, called the Conjure Undead Army ability. The only catch this ability has is that every single conjure in that preset will cost double the ectoplasm to spawn or summon. This new ability will be tier 7 talent tree unlock and will require level 99 necromancy. Now, removing the adrenaline cost of these conjure abilities will not come cheap, and conjures will have their stats severely altered because of this. Starting with the conjure skeleton warrior ability, the base damage range of the skeleton warrior when summoned, not commanded that is, so its passive damage will be reduced by around 16.66% on average. On the other hand, rage stacks will provide 3 times as much damage, which will result in a 180% damage increase compared to before when using the command skeleton ability. Next up is the putrid zombie, which is going to have its duration decreased by 3 seconds. Not sure why that's happening, seems like a minor change but still something worth mentioning. Its movement speed will be increased from walking to running. The zombie's passive poison damage will be nerfed heavily as the damage is being decreased by 2/3, and the proc interval for that passive will be increased from 3 ticks or 1.8 seconds to 5 ticks or 3 seconds. Effectively, this means that the passive is being nerfed by around 81%. So yes, that's a major nerf. Jagex's reasoning behind this nerf was nicely mentioned in the post, being that it was offering too much passive damage for minimal investment. A nice quality of life change to the command abilities that you'll be able to cast the ability without having a target. That's nice to see. Next up is the Vengeful Ghost. First off, its heal value will be reduced by nearly 30%. The ghost healing mechanics will be altered to work on hit, which means your heals per hit can be affected by modifiers such as the Ghost Haunt or Vulnerability. Speaking of the Haunt effect, which comes from the Ghost secondary ability, it will have a fixed duration of 30 seconds and require recasting to keep active. Haunt's damage boosting effect will be nerfed, which will affect low hitting abilities more than high hitting abilities, but it will still be a nerf for high hitting abilities. The life transfer incantation will be changed to last a tick longer, so 21 seconds, and will reduce life points based on your base life points instead of max life points when activated. This is an improvement, especially if you try to boost your max health, as it's now less destructive to activate. The Invoke Death incantation is going to be increased to a duration of 12 seconds, giving you more time to apply it to a boss or creature. Other notable patches coming next Monday are that Necromancy shields will no longer cause your conjured spirits to despawn. This is a quality of life feature that should have been in the game from the start when Necromancy released, because if you were to switch to a shield and you don't want to be using Lesser Bone Shield or Greater Bone Shield, you would lose your conjure straight away. So that's going to be changed. Nice. You know what's funny? I recently scheduled a video trying PvM as a Necromancer Summoner, and a lot of the information in that video will be, well, still entertaining, but slightly outdated. Like this update, next Monday is changing a lot, and I had it scheduled for next week on Wednesday, so perhaps I'll release it sooner. We'll have to see. In other news, on October the 30th, a combat beta will launch, which will allow you to play around with other combat styles as if they were like Necromancy, as the mods are looking to test a similar system for damage output to Necromancies for all styles. Essentially, you always deal damage no matter what, where damage is reduced based on your accuracy. So if you have 80% accuracy, you're only going to be dealing 80% of your maximum potential damage. The damage cap will be increased to 30,000 for all combat styles, which is going to be a lot of fun, and every single style will have a base 10% crit chance, with your critical strike damage increasing as you level, just like Necromancy does. PvMers are going to enjoy this one, that's for sure. Part of today's news post, Jagex also released the drop rates for Hermod and Raziel. Hermod's Hermodic plates have a base drop rate of 1 in 10 or 1 in 9 when using tier 3 luck and above. The pet is a 1 in 2,000 drop with a threshold of 400. Raziel has a 1 in 320 chance to drop a tier 95 weapon, which is a 1 in 316 chance with tier 4 luck. Tier 95 armor pieces are a 1 in 128 drop where you have a random chance of getting any piece. Your odds are increased to 1 in 126 with tier 4 luck. The weapon and armor pieces are individual drops, so you are able to get both on the same kill. The pet is a 1 in 1500 drop with a threshold of 300. Jagex also shares some drop data as part of the news. Over 10,000 players have received Hermod's pet, and over 1.6 million Hermodic plates have dropped. So far, 9,000 players have received Raziel's pet, and 109,000 pieces of first Necromancer armor have dropped, with the crown, aka the headpiece, being the most common. That's a lot of armor pieces. Wow. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this short little news update, and if you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.